So the United States has a bunch of different shortages. And unfortunately, some of these shortages are not getting any better. But again, this is not anything new. We have seen shortages for the past few years. In 2020, we saw a lot of shortages regarding food, regarding some products, electronics were a big one, furniture was huge. People were renovating their homes, a lot of shortages going on. In 2021, again, a lot of it was food. 2022, we saw a lot of worker shortages. We saw a lot of food shortages. Medication was on short supply. Well, today I want to address what some of these major shortages are here in the United States. Because originally, the majority were mainly food related, were goods because the people here in the US were buying different products. Now, we are still seeing some food related shortages, but not all. Today, I want to go over what some of these shortages are, what we are seeing here in the United States, and explain when experts are saying things are going to get better. So let's begin. All I ask is if you can spend 2 seconds, go ahead, hit that like button, and also consider subscribing. If you have any questions whatsoever, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Now, let's talk about some of these shortages. What is the first one? Well, the first one is a vegetable shortage. We have seen food shortages in the past. This was the majority of the past 2 years. Now, things got much better. We saw there was vegetables, there was fruit, we saw grain, right? Things were looking up. Then, unfortunately, we had this issue with Russia and Ukraine. Well, that is 1 year in the making. It's still going on. This is the start of year 2, which obviously is devastating. But at the same time, the grain that we were supposed to see a major shortage, it's actually gotten much better. Here's where the vegetable shortage is causing issues. Over the past 6 months to a year, we have heard from a lot of farmers saying that the extreme weather was the reason why many of their crops were not able to produce. They were feeling the impact. Some farmers even said they were unable to plant in time. Plant on time. Others said that they were not able to harvest due to snow, wind, and rain. And even one of my friends said that by the time they were able to harvest, nobody would buy from them. They were too late. So they didn't even get to sell their crops. And so this is a major concern. The good news is, according to many reports, we're moving away from the wet and cold season. So hopefully the spring and the summer months won't be as brutal as it has been in previous years. So that's what we're hearing regarding vegetables, is hopefully this spring and the summer it will improve. But again, we don't know till we get there. The next shortage is an Adderall shortage. Adderall is mainly used for people with ADHD. There's other purposes, reasons people would prescribe this as well. But according to experts, they say there's a small link between the pandemic and ADHD. According to a couple studies, they show that children who spent much of the pandemic locked in their homes and away from the outside world are experiencing more ADHD-like symptoms, while others who were able to go out, adapt, and interact with other people, there's less happening there, right? Nothing really happened, so that's good news for them. Now, based on these reports, the Adderall shortage will likely improve after children are able to spend more time outdoors. So again, this is something that we are going to see improve in the spring and the summer. Now, obviously, manufacturing this medication is key as well. So, but this is, according to experts, this is what they're saying is that once children are able to spend more time outdoors and they get the sunlight, they get to go and play, this is going to be good for them. So spring and summer 2023 is likely when we'll see this Adderall shortage, not become a shortage. It'll just be, regular, everyday, business as usual. So we'll see. And the next one is the amoxicillin shortage. Now, here's what you need to know. Amoxicillin, this has been impacting about 75% of pharmacies across the United States. Amoxicillin is heavily utilized over the past few months as many children came down with pneumonia or pneumonia-like symptoms. And one thing that we have been told is that the U.S. doesn't place as much importance and doesn't really prioritize amoxicillin. This is something that we get from other countries. And I've said this before, that it's like 90% of all the APIs, okay, the ingredients that go into medications, they're coming from China. The tensions between the US and China are extremely high. And so this is why this is such a big deal. And now pharmacies believe the US needs to spend more time and money manufacturing amoxicillin within the US, not securing it from outside sources. As far as when the amoxicillin shortage will subside and we will have enough, well, people say once the cold weather goes away. Well, it started to go away, and then we got this, nope, just joking, the winter storm just came blowing in. So as of right now, my guess is, again, spring, summer 2023. Now, here's another one. And unfortunately, this is something that we're likely not to see get improved anytime soon. And that is a teacher shortage. Let's be very clear with this, though. Teachers had an extremely rough time during the whole pandemic, right? When the pandemic hit, almost all schools had to shut down, right? As a result, many teachers went to go find different jobs because what they were making, on unemployment or working part-time hours at the school just wasn't worth it. So some teachers went to find different jobs. Then when schools decided to open back up, the teachers, the children, the staff, they were all forced to wear masks in many cases. Some teachers didn't like this, didn't want to deal with it. Children wouldn't want to wear a mask and they have to send them home, and big old issues, right? And so many teachers left. Now, during this entire time, we also had a lot of different stimulus money going out. So many school districts offered teachers early retirement. So many teachers took that as well. The problem now, though, is that there were not enough teachers in the system. And so there was already a shortage. That was back in 2020. And now the problem is just getting worse. Now, I did read a new study or a survey just last week, and it says that roughly 18% of families that are putting their children in private schools, they're planning on taking their children out of private school, putting them back into public schools, and they want to do this within the next year. But why? Well, according to the survey, it's all because of the cost. The cost of private school is just too expensive, and with the likelihood of a recession here in the United States, these families are looking at ways to cut costs. One of the biggest ways they can cut costs is on education. So we're going to see if that happens. Unfortunately, this shortage, the teacher shortage, is not likely to get better anytime soon. So that's what we know regarding shortages here in the US. I know this isn't a complete list, but it's a very short list, just 4 major shortages that we currently have. But this is what is going on, and this is when experts say they should be resolved. So as soon as we get more information on that, I promise I will fill you in on all the latest news and updates. If there is a shortage that you know of that I didn't cover in today's video, please just put it down in the comment section below. It could be something like a fruit shortage, a meat shortage, an egg shortage. It doesn't matter. Put it down in the comment section below. I will do the research. I will figure out, is it a true shortage? And when is this shortage supposed to subside? So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.